They put up flyers, a couple stickers here on Eastern Michigan's campus, but it wasn't just any other club.
Little Caesars Arena is ready, but is downtown ready for the traffic impact?
And everybody out. Freeways out of Florida and Georgia are jammed in what's shaping up to be one of the largest mass evacuations in American history ahead of Hurricane Irma's arrival.
Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 11 starts now.
And Hurricane Irma topping our news tonight. It is still churning through the Caribbean as a Category 5 storm.
Ben is going to give us a closer look at where we believe Irma is headed in a few minutes. But tonight, there is this mass exodus out of South Florida and parts of Georgia, for that matter. Around 500,000 people have been told to leave South Florida. In Georgia, 540,000, so more than 500,000 coastal residents have been ordered to evacuate inland. Evacuees who were able to book flights out have been landing all over the country, including Detroit Metro Airport. Also, Selfridge Air National Guard, the base there, preparing to receive a number of military aircraft from the evacuation zone. Utility workers from all over the country are heading into the storm zone, heading to the southeast for what is sure to be a major power restoration effort in Irma's aftermath. DTE, in fact, sending 300 workers, Consumers Energy sending another 200.
That's the roof. The roof is about to come. Yep, there it is. The roof just went, Jess. The whole roof.
And this is just some of the fury Irma has been unleashing in the Caribbean. Roofs blown off in St. Thomas and on the island of St. Martin. 95% of the homes have been damaged. So far, 14 deaths have been reported as a result of the storm. Sarah Rosario is in Miami, where there is a nervous wait for Irma's arrival.
Hurricane Irma pounding Turks and Caicos, a preview of what the U.S. coast can expect.
Florida will have major hurricane impacts with deadly storm surge and life-threatening winds.
The race is on to get out of the storm's path. At Miami International Airport, a flight out of town is hard to come by.
I had a ticket for $700 and then I refreshed it and it was gone.
Leaving by car isn't much easier. Lines for gas are long and traffic is snarled.
Horrible. Like everybody else, we're escaping the hurricane. God knows if it's better up there.
Final preparations and precautions are being made for Irma's arrival. At President Trump's Mar-a-Lago resort, windows are covered with plywood. There's also one final push for supplies, especially generators and water.
I got one case for us, and I just want to have a little bit more.
The massive storm is taking aim at Florida, expected to make landfall Saturday. Sarah Rosario, NBC News, Miami.
And the latest advisory from the National Hurricane Center has a few changes. Unfortunately, they're not going to amount to much. Still a Category 5 storm with Irma. Sustained winds down a bit to 165 miles an hour. This is going to maintain its Category 5 strength until about 8 a.m. on Saturday morning. That's when it becomes a Cat 4 at 155 miles an hour. From that point on, the intensity should stay relatively stable until it makes landfall, and this is likely going to be about 4 or 5 in the morning on Sunday. The current track goes just a little bit west of the former forecast track, but it still has it going right up the center of Florida. Category 3 storm at 8 o'clock on Sunday, and then eventually will weaken as it moves up the Florida Peninsula into Georgia by Monday evening. Hurricane warnings have now been posted for the southern part of Florida, running all the way up north of Miami. Coming up, we'll take a look at the wind field of Irma and why we have to be on our guard even before that storm makes landfall, Devin.
All right, Ben, now we've got a breaking crime alert from the Detroit police. They are looking tonight for this man, 29-year-old Fareed Ahmed. They say he works as a driver, and this evening he picked up a 21-year-old woman in the area of Cass and West Warren in Midtown, drove her to an unknown location, and according to police, sexually assaulted her. Ahmed was last seen driving a gray 2013 Toyota Camry. Anyone with information on his whereabouts is urged to call Detroit police right away.
White supremacist group that's been dropping flyers at college campuses across the country targeted Eastern Michigan University this week. But the university spotted the stickers and flyers and removed them from campus before students knew what had been put up. Armar McDonald reports from Ypsilanti.
This group was one of those that was active in Charlottesville. Its former leader, as a matter of fact, was one of the chief architects of that whole Unite the Right rally. And now they are recruiting on college campuses. Identity Europa. By just looking at the flyer and stickers the group posted on EMU's campus, you don't really know what they're all about. It appears to be just another flyer put up by any other club. But the group, which bills itself as Awakened Europeans, has been classified as a white nationalist hate group by the Anti-Defamation League and the Southern Poverty Law Center. Their former leader was one of the chief organizers of the Charlottesville Unite the Right rally, and they are vehemently anti-immigration. Eastern Michigan was one of several college campuses the group targeted this week in their ongoing recruitment efforts. The university was not amused, saying, quote, "The flyers and the hateful racist causes they promote run completely counter to Eastern's core values of diversity, inclusiveness, and respect." Those flyers were taken down immediately, so much so that students we spoke with tonight had no idea they were even here, and nobody recognized the group's symbol or name.
I've always figured that these are the kind of things that they want you to get mad about. You know, they want the African American community to get mad about, and I feel like once you start partaking in it, once you start expressing your anger and all these different kinds of emotions, you know, hate, then that's when they beat you, you know. Me, I don't let them win because I don't partake.
Eastern Michigan University is not the only campus that this group has targeted this week. As a matter of fact, it's been something that they have been doing since the beginning of the year. We are in Ypsilanti. I'm Mara McDonald, Local 4.
All right, Mara, the CMU student who smeared peanut butter across the face of another student, causing this allergic reaction, has pleaded guilty to assault and battery. The photo of the victim's swollen face went viral earlier this year. His parents told us at the time it was fraternity hazing and that members knew their son had a peanut allergy. The student responsible has been sentenced now to probation.
They've named her Life. A terminally ill woman from West Michigan has given birth to a baby girl at University Hospital in Ann Arbor. We told you about Carrie Declan's heartbreaking story last month. The mother of 5 was diagnosed with a rare brain tumor, then found out she was pregnant. Doctors recommended terminating the pregnancy so she could try a clinical drug, but she refused. So the goal became keeping Carrie alive so that they could deliver the baby at 28 weeks. Life Lynn Declan was born yesterday at 24 weeks. The family posted on their Facebook page that Carrie has now been removed from all life support.
A stolen goods operation busted on Detroit's west side. Police say the owner of this home on Hayden near Evergreen and 96 stole appliances out of homes and then resold them out of his own home.
AC units, hot water tanks, furnaces, large heaters.
So they're stripping houses?
That's what it appears.
In fact, police say every room of the house was packed with stolen appliances, even the bathroom. The homeowner and another man are now in custody.
The family of a man who died in the Macomb County Jail has filed a $10 million lawsuit against the county. Daniel Bird had been in custody for 23 days when he overdosed on prescription pills back in 2015. Family says Bird's cellmate told guards something was wrong with him, but nobody took action. Family says they hope the lawsuit leads to changes in how inmates are treated.
And the Detroit Public School Community District is facing a $10 million whistleblower lawsuit filed by a teacher. Katrina Brown says the district and Mayor Duggan retaliated against her after she reported contaminated water at her school. Brown says the water in DPS has high levels of lead and copper. Well, after speaking up, Brown says she was harassed, transferred to another school, and unfairly disciplined. Brown says she wants the district to make things right.
Let the district know that we're not going anywhere, and we do want the water fixed at all 18 Detroit public schools, and we're asking Dr. Vitti to step up and for the board also to make things right for our students and to make the water safe at all Detroit public schools.
And we reached out to the DPSCD for a statement. They say they will not comment on pending litigation.
We are learning more about a data breach affecting nearly half of all Americans, and it has to do with your credit report.
It's a big one. Also, a scary situation goes from bad to worse for a robbery victim. You'll see what happened to her after she was mugged. Gerant?
24-hour construction, parking garages are built, but is it enough to accommodate the thousands that will come to Little Caesars Arena?
With a sneak peek we got this week inside the new Little Caesars Arena, the excitement level is building.
That it is, but if you've driven near there lately, you've seen enough orange barrels to fill the seats at the opening night Kid Rock show.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Parking, that's going to be a huge issue too. Jermont Terry has what to expect and how to ease some of the headaches. Jermont?
We are just a few days away from people filing into the new Little Caesars Arena, and they are still working 24 hours around the clock to finish up the outside. But getting to this arena could become a challenge, despite the fact that they already have parking garages going up.
I have my Kid Rock ticket for opening day.
It's a ticket to be a part of history in Detroit.
Here we go.
Excitement builds up for Sharon Piper. She's a frequent people mover rider who expects the seats to fill up once the action at Little Caesars Arena kicks off. As the work to complete the final touches at the downtown arena wraps up, traffic in and around the arena backs up. There's construction on Michigan Avenue causing gridlock already, and along the lodge the concrete is down, but no vehicles will exit on Grand River. The wider exit ramp remains under construction for another week and a half.
Did they build a parking structure for the arena? I don't know.
The new arena has just over 20,000 seats, yet only 3 new parking garages are built so far. The new garages have a total of 2,600 spaces, so parking will be limited, especially when there are multiple events happening. So they're hoping people will realize everyone can't get prime parking. And if you don't want to get caught in the traffic jam, parking lots like this one in News Center are available and people can easily jump right on the queue line. For now, you can still park at the Joe and join Sharon on the People Mover.
Well, maybe they'll do like what they did before, like when they went to Joe Louis. They park at all the garages all around the city, and they take the People Mover, and you can pretty much walk.
Now, they will have an app that you can download to essentially prepay for parking near the LCA, and many of the parking structures will accept credit cards, but again, you're going to have to pack some patience getting here. Reporting outside Little Caesars Arena, Jermont Terry, Local 4.
These are the problems we've dreamed about having for so long.
Oh, my goodness.
All the busyness
Progress,
downtown.
yep.
Yeah. All right, Ben's back, and obviously we're watching a very, very serious, dire situation, even perhaps developing for Florida now.
Yeah, as the hours count down to a potential landfall, we've got more confidence in the forecast.
Yeah.
Less confidence on what folks are going to do in
Yeah,
Florida
yeah.
and whether they're going to hunker down or get out. But this is the latest look at Irma, and we told you at the top of the show that the wind speed estimates from the Hurricane Center are down, and you can tell that a little bit in the last 6 hours. The cloud tops have warmed. The size of Irma has shrunk a little bit, so that's pretty indicative of seeing the wind speeds just a little bit lower, but still a Category 5 storm, as it is just pummeling the Turks and Caicos. This is interesting. I want to show you the wind field for Irma, the extent of how big we're looking at. That's the center of the storm here, that Cat 5 number swirling there. The yellow area is tropical storm force winds. The orange area are hurricane force winds. So even though we're expecting a landfall Sunday morning, by Saturday at 9 a.m., those tropical storm force winds are going to reach the Florida Keys. Then we're going to see hurricane force winds that start moving in about 7 p.m. on Saturday. And you're going to go through the entire night in the Keys with hurricane force winds. And it looks like the core of that storm, the eye wall, making landfall at about 5 a.m. on Sunday. And then that entire thing moves on shore. In fact, the Keys will likely spend 20 hours with hurricane force winds in addition to the storm surge and rain. By the time we get into Sunday, there's going to be an area between Miami and Orlando where most of the Florida Peninsula has hurricane force winds. So this is a massive storm, and it will still be a major hurricane even after churning through most of the Florida Peninsula once we get into Sunday night. So they are boarding up. This is down in Jacksonville Beach. You can see they've got plenty of boards on the window, but this is the interesting part. You can see all the storms they've been through, 4 of them in 2004, Matthew in 2016. Now they can write Irma's name on the board, and hopefully the board will be around for the next storm. Here's a look now back home as we're seeing the showers start to fade. By the time we wake up tomorrow morning, we're looking at dry conditions. We'll call it partly cloudy during the day tomorrow. Just a slight chance we could get some east side showers in here as the backside of that low sort of swings through, but light amounts shouldn't be as much as what we picked up today. And then we set the stage for a bright weekend, but not necessarily a whole lot warmer. 50 degrees tonight, a lot of us in the 40s. And again, the shower is going to be ending by the time we wake up tomorrow morning. 65 is as good as it gets on Friday, and we make some improvement over the weekend. We'll call it 70 there on Sunday, mid-70s Monday and Tuesday, but at least we got a string of sunshine there for Saturday through Tuesday, even if it's not the warmest weekend that we've had in a while.
We just don't feel entitled to gripe at all with what we're watching other people do.
That's true. We're making out right.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, she says if anyone else wore this outfit, it wouldn't be a problem. What this pregnant woman says happened to her when she walked into a crowded restaurant.
And an urban jungle, but these plants are all pot. What led Detroit police to this sizable grow operation?
It's a local clinic helping to improve the health of teenagers.
So the clinic has really helped me realize that it's not just me that needs help.
But it's where this clinic is that makes it so special. I'm Dr. Frank McGeorge. Tomorrow night at 11, see why it's not just medication, but location that's making a difference to so many.
The man accused of sexually assaulting a Highland Park woman appeared today in court. Police say 25-year-old Keontae Passmore attacked the woman as she walked to work back in May, robbing, raping, and strangling her. Detectives say DNA linked him to the crime.
Detroit police seized more than $100,000 in pot at a home on the city's east side. They investigated after getting complaints about the home from some area residents. They say in addition to the grow operation, the two people arrested had been stealing power from DTE for the past 5 years.
When Kid Rock holds the inaugural concert at Little Caesars Arena next week, he may shed some light on his political future. His publicist says after the first song, Kid Rock will give fans insight on his political views and aspirations for Michigan. Tuesday's show is sold out.
2 workers from Lapeer have been arrested in Houston accused of burglary in the aftermath of Hurricane Harvey. Richard Edwards and Brandon Bonsteel worked for a restoration business called ServPro. Police say they were hired to do work in a flooded home, and the owner caught them on surveillance going through personal belongings in a bedroom. ServPro says both men have been terminated from the business. A woman outside Atlanta not only mugged but dragged by the robbers. The woman walking down a road when a pickup truck stops next to her. The passenger jumps out and grabs her purse, but the woman holds on to it, and as the truck drives away, as you'll see, she is dragged along the street. She eventually realized she had no choice but to let go. Police are still looking for the robbers.
Goodness. Okay, a Help Me Hank consumer alert. This one affects nearly half of the United States population. Equifax, a company that does credit reports, says it's dealing with a data breach. They say hackers may have gained access to the personal information of 143 million people. The information includes names, social security numbers, birth dates, addresses, and some driver's license numbers. In addition, the company reports 209,000 credit card numbers were obtained. Equifax is working to alert customers of the breach via mail.
A pregnant woman in Washington State says she was kicked out of a restaurant for wearing a crop top.
The waitress bartender stopped us and said, "I'm sorry, you can't be here in that shirt." And I said, "Are you being serious with me right now?" And she said, "Yep, you can't be here in that."
Teresa Gobbin is 7.5 months pregnant with twins. She went to a steakhouse with her family, but was told she wouldn't be seated because the restaurant has a no shirt, no shoes, no service policy. Gobbin believes a smaller person wearing that top would have been allowed to stay. Here's the interesting part. The restaurant has now apologized for what they call a misunderstanding, as in we misunderstood, other people might find out. We've heard of drivers crashing into buildings. Usually it's because they hit the gas instead of the brake. Doesn't usually happen like this.
Yeah, this one's a little different. This 77-year-old driver in Germany hit a gas station once, then backed out. Then he reversed into a van, then went forward again into the store 2 more times. Nobody was seriously hurt. Police believe the man not only confused the gas and the brake, but he mixed up reverse and drive. Man. Yeah, got a little confused there.
Could happen.
The